Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to introduce to you Sarah Guilliot. She's a skilled copywriter for coaches and web design service providers. Sarah creates compelling copy that communicates the value of her clients' offers while preserving their empathetic voice. She specializes in launch emails, sales pages, and website content, and a little bit more too. So what sets Sarah apart is her ability to help clients express their unique qualities during one-on-one calls, making them feel deeply understood. She also collaborates with web designers on copy for their projects and enjoys writing outdoors, often from parks or while hiking. Get ready to meet a copywriter who transforms ideas into powerful connections. Sarah, welcome to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. So glad you're here.
Oh, thank you, Sue. What a great introduction. Thanks.
You're so welcome. You can clip that and keep it, right?
I will.
Well, I'm dying to know more. Talk a little bit about who you serve and the problems that you're helping to solve for them.
Yeah, so I like you said, I'm a copywriter for coaches, course creators. There's a lot of podcasters in there and the people who support them. I also used to be a designer, so I still use my design skills for my copy, like especially when I'm writing websites or sales page copy for people, because I know how to lay it out on the page. It's very different, as you know, from content copywriting. I have to think about what's going to fit into the sections of the page so that I can give them copy that's easy for them to build. And then, like you said, just really making people feel seen and heard and help them capture their brand voice so that it feels super authentic and super them.
Huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. And I don't know about you, but as a writer, I've noticed like the hardest business to write for is your own, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you know it so well, but you can't see it sometimes. So I love when other writers are able to help their clients with that too, because it's like, even if they're excellent writers, and I know, that was one thing on your website. I also saw that one of your clients is like, she did this and I love writing, but like,
yeah,
being able to serve people, even who are good writers, sometimes we just get in our own way. We can't see it. So that's huge.
Yes, exactly.
That is really cool. All right. And tell us a little bit about how you serve these people.
Yeah. So I'll have, coaches come to me and they say, I'm launching a program. I need to, write the launch emails, or I need a sales page. And I'll come in and it always starts with a deep dive conversation with them to really get to know them, asking all the questions. This is where my introvert skills come in handy, because I'm really good enough.
I love it.
Yeah, introverts unite.
Quietly in our own homes.
In our own homes, exactly. That's the best meme out there. But yeah, like I can just really I love those deep one-on-one conversations. And then often I'll look at other things that they've posted online, or like podcast episodes if they're a podcaster, and really try to capture their voice from that. Sometimes I'm actually writing a copy voice guide for someone, but a lot of times I'm just trying to figure out what their voice is, and then I can write for them, and it doesn't feel like a stranger wrote it. They just feel really good about it, and it kind of gets them out of their own heads, because you can, like, as a coach, you can think you do a good job in your program, but you're too stuck in the weeds to figure out how to say it. It feels braggy or uncomfortable. So I can come in without any of that mind trash and just be like, no, this is an amazing program and people are going to love it, and just write it in a way that's really going to sell the value for the audience.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love that. It's like every coach, everybody needs a writer, like a bestie writer, because like, we can see and we can say it, and it doesn't, we don't have any, like you said, we don't have any of that mind trash. So we're able to just see it and say it, and there it is. But how did you get to where you are? You weren't probably born, maybe you were born an entrepreneur. I don't know, but what's your journey been like?
Yes, so was not born an entrepreneur. I came from a family where it's like you go to college and then you get a job and then you're in an office working at your job every day for
Until you die.
till eternity. Yes, till you die, till you retire someday. And so for 20 years, I live in the Seattle area, so like with all the tech companies around here. So for 20 years, I worked in corporate as a UX designer, UX architect. UX means user experience for anyone in your audience who doesn't know that term, working for like Microsoft and Amazon, and the last 5 years were at GoDaddy. And I was just like dreaming of more. And I remember at GoDaddy, every possible opportunity I had to go outside, I would sneak away and go outside. I'd be like, oh, lunch, go outside. Like, no one's looking, take a break, go outside. And I would walk because they were, the office was on a pier, like there was like a yacht club there and it was really nice. And so I would walk down by the water and I was just dreaming every day, like, oh, what would it be like if I had my own business and I could come out here and walk and I wouldn't have to go back in for a meeting and I could just stay out here as long as I want. And I dreamed that for years and years until I finally made the leap. And it was really it was a health scare with my husband. He's fine now, but we had a big health scare that was like made me realize, okay, I've been kind of afraid to do this thing, but I don't have forever to like try this out. So it's time to take the leap. And so that's when I did.
That's amazing. And it's crazy how sometimes it can take something so serious to get us like shoehorned out of where we are, that little comfort zone, and go, all right, gonna do it. But I'm so glad he's fine. And what a wonderful gift that came from that scare.
Yes, for sure.
So cool. So how long have you been at this now?
I think it's 7 or 8 years now.
It comes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
the time goes.
Do this math. I feel like just yesterday that I left, but I was doing design for almost all of that, and it was only the past like year and a half or 2 years that I realized that I was burned out on design. And I wanted to do copy. And one of those reasons is that I can do copy at the park, but I can't do design at the park.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Oh my gosh. You're right. Oh, that's wild. Oh man. That's awesome. That's thrilling then. And all right, let's go. We're going to go into our little rapid fire section here. So let me pull these up. And all right, where would you say, what's the one thing you're struggling with in growing your audience or your business right now?
Well, at this very moment, I am raising prices, so I'm kind of coming up against my own mindset.
Oh, yes.
And figuring that out as I go into the new year. Plus, like, it's holidays, so it's not like I'm going to make a big push right now. So I just get to think about that.
Oh, yeah.
The holidays are over.
We like percolate, torture ourselves. I'm with you. Right.
Yeah, that's
how do you currently stay in touch with leads after they show interest?
So many ways. Like there's my newsletter, because anytime someone like comes into my Acuity and books a call, I give them an opportunity to either get on my newsletter or get on this other list where I can send them deals and things. Also Instagram. And a lot of my clients come from, that inner circle of people that I know best. So I'm seeing them like in my weekly mastermind, just kind of on the regular or inside of groups. So they see me all the time.
That's so good. That's the best. Way. Yeah. Cause this way they're getting the full Sarah experience, like, every step. Like that's wonderful. That's so cool. All right. What is the one tool or resource that you wish you had to grow your business faster?
Ooh, such a great question, because I don't know that there's like a software or anything like that. I guess I would say if I'm looking back, this is kind of, I don't know, vague, but clarity, I think, is the one thing that would have grown my business faster earlier.
Yeah.
And that comes from coaching. Like, it took me a while to get into a space where I would work with coaches, but once I did, and I was in groups and masterminds, that has been the most effective thing for me. So getting clarity through like someone else's viewpoint on my business.
Yeah. Which is what you're actually providing for your clients in a way.
Exactly.
It's like you're not a coach per se, but you're kind of a coach. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. All right. What's your best lead generation strategy and how is it working for you?
Um, I would say it's kind of a tie between direct outreach. Well, okay, maybe it's not a tie. Direct outreach is my best. It's my best one. I was scared of outreach for years, and then I finally dug into it, and that has led to the most consistent sales. But if the close second to that would be speaking in groups, or on summits and things like that, and sharing my knowledge that way. Because I love to teach too. I really like to make things clear for people and like reaching a wider audience that way.
That is so cool. Yeah, I love that because it's like you're able to speak one to many rather than like.
Hmm.
So with the direct outreach, are you doing cold outreach or are you doing something else?
Um, Maybe a tiny bit of cold outreach, but mostly it's reaching out to people I know in that network, that inner circle, which is,
Yeah.
widening. And it's not even necessarily like, hey, do you need some work? Sometimes that's what it is, but it's like, do you know anyone who needs some work? And a lot of times they're like, no, but actually,
Right?
I need some work. It's like magic.
Yeah. Sarah, I know somebody. It's me. That's great. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. So when you have like your programs that you're doing, is there anything that you've seen like in your group or whatever? Is there your biggest challenge in getting people to show up for them?
Like groups that I'm paying to be in, or what do you?
No, I'm
what do you
sorry.
mean?
Like anything that you're running.
Oh, well, I'm not running any groups
Okay.
right now,
Okay. I
but
misunderstood that.
yeah. I have done in the past. Like I used to have a course. I used to run some challenges, and I think at that time when I was less skilled at launching, it was just not talking about it long enough to enough
Yeah.
people.
Ooh,
Like,
that's a good
I'll
one.
talk about it for 3 days and I'm
Right.
done.
And then you figure, well, I already said it. What the heck? I don't
Yeah.
want to keep repeating it. You're going to get tired of hearing it. That's like one of the biggest
Exactly.
things that I remember a coach told me. They're like, just because you said it once, do not assume that anybody read it. Even if you've said it 10 times, keep saying it
Yes.
because by the time you're tired of saying it or you think that they're tired, they've just started hearing it.
They've
Like,
just started.
I was like, oh,
Exactly.
it's crazy, isn't it? We're getting our way. All right. Is there one mindset block that you're currently experiencing? Yeah, that could kind of hold you back from where you want to go next.
I think it's that it's tied up in the raising my prices stuff. It's I have such high expectations of myself, and I can tend to be a perfectionist. I'm trying not to do that. That I feel like I can only charge X number of dollars if I've worked myself to the bone and threw in like everything in the kitchen sink for the deliverable. And I know
Exactly.
that's not true, but I fight it every day.
That's honest. I get you. I get you. And then it's like, oh, if I haven't given them a kidney and half of my left arm, like, it's like, and yet when you hear from your clients and they're like, this is awesome. You saved my bacon. You said somebody said that, saved my bacon.
Yeah,
Like, oh, and then you're like, oh, I just did what was, you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's because writing comes easy to us.
yeah.
So we don't,
Yeah, it's too
we
easy.
can't, it's too easy.
Can't
It
be
can't
worth
make-
any money.
Right. Anybody could do this. Oh man. All right. That's nuts. That is nuts. All right. If you could fix any one part of your client journey today, what would that be?
Um, Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was all necessary. Maybe the timeline. It would be nice
Yeah.
if it was a little shorter than,
Do it faster.
7 years.
Yes, I get you. I get you. I love that saying of let's see. I can't remember the saying now. There was somebody who was talking about if he could go back and talk to his self 20 years ago, he'd be like,
Yeah.
all right, you're gonna make it. This is great. Now just do it faster, right? So,
Yes.
along
that's
those
what I would
lines.
do.
But that would be good. Right? All right. And then what would be one marketing idea that you've always wanted to try, but you haven't tried it yet?
Um, Gosh, I've tried so many marketing ideas. I'm trying to think if there's one that I haven't done. maybe it's one that I would do again, which
Oh,
because I
yeah.
haven't done it in so long, and that would be webinars.
Oh,
Because I don't like to commit my time, like time at my desk, unless it's a one-on-one call. So like
yeah.
ramping up to a big webinar and planning that out way in advance. I'm like, well, what if I'm
Yeah.
not in the mood that day?
Yes.
But I am such a sucker for webinars. Like I will buy stuff always off of a webinar, and they're just like one of the best ways I think to really give the full picture of what transformation you can bring. So I might dig into that again.
Those are good. Well, it's so funny. Most entrepreneurs, the big joke is, well, that worked so well, I will never do it again.
I have to change it.
Right. Totally going to forget I ever did it and then go back. Right. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
All right. And then I want to know too, let's shift into the outdoors part. So what is your,
Yeah.
like, how do you outside, Sarah?
Yes. How do I outside? Well, there's lots here in Washington State. There's lots of local parks, lots of lakes and woods. I'm not like a aggressive hiker, but walking keeps me sane. So I'll go to, a variety of local parks. I'm always on Voxer with my friends, potentially with clients, or DMing potential clients while I'm out in the air,
Nice.
doing like, Instagram stories and things like that. And then if I'm in the middle of a copy project, like I have to walk every day, otherwise I get all grouchy and terrible at night. But if I have an intense, project for that week, I'll go and write somewhere, usually like the library or a restaurant or something. And then after that focus work, I'm like, then I'm gonna go outside, and then more ideas percolate. And I
Oh.
might even like print out what I had written and bring it with me with my red pen or whatever, and like edit it while I'm there. And it just makes it so much more enjoyable.
It does. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's such a great thing that getting those, like, they're bubbling up all these different ideas and
Mhm.
man. All right. Can you point to anything where you've been out walking and you got a great idea that you implemented in your business?
Yeah, so this is one where it led to a sale. It wasn't that I got an idea for a specific thing, but it was a really cool sort of, mix up of outdoors and ideas. And that was I gave myself a challenge because I felt like, oh, I'm having trouble with consistency. I'm gonna do something consistent. I thought, okay, for 30 days, I'm gonna go live on Instagram, which wasn't really live. It was like recording myself and then uploading it. But it was like in the moment. I'm gonna go live on Instagram and share a tip about sales pages, because that's something I can like off the top of my head think of tons of things I could share with people. And I was also trying to get 10,000 steps a day. I'm like, maybe I'll challenge myself to do 20,000 steps a day, and I'll just like couple those two things together
Oh, wow.
into this 30-day challenge. And it was so much fun. The 20,000 steps went away very quickly when I like
I
my
was
hip
gonna
was
say
hurting.
that's a lot of stuff. My hip
ankle
hurts thinking about it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I was open on that too. I was like, this 20,000, maybe I can't just leap straight from like my typical 8,000 to like 20. So that, it was like, oh, today I got this many steps. But each day I was able to share that and share the tip of the day. And I would just spontaneously think of it that morning. I would be outside, I'd be all sweaty, be at the park. I'd just hold out my phone, record my thing, and upload it to Instagram stories. And then so afterwards, like I felt all this, just I was so proud of myself for being consistent and doing what I set out to do. Friends and people who follow me on Instagram were complimenting me. I was like suddenly more visible, which was kind of leading to interest. And then I took those posts and I turned them into an email series, which I sent to my newsletter. And then someone on my newsletter saw that, who had a software as a service company, and they were working on their sales page tool. And they're like, oh, Sarah, you think you could come in and help us out? So it led to this retainer for several months, helping them out, getting more visible, direct money from them. And like, that wasn't my intent from the beginning, I was like, I'm just going to do this for fun and to see if I can do it. And then I think good things will come from it. And they totally did.
They sure did. That was such a great idea. And it was fun. Probably it didn't feel like work.
Yes. Yeah. I would do it again.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. And then, so how do you, a lot of the times entrepreneurs feel like we've got to do all the things before we can go get recess. Like I see you and me we're like, can I sneak out? That kind of thing. Let's go play. I picture like the 5th grade classroom and the teacher's like, okay, recess. And they get almost like trampled by the kids running out. That's us. So how a lot of us have that thing where it's like, well, I got to finish all the things first. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say that the things that are on your list that need to be done are going to happen so much faster and more efficiently if you take a break and you go outside. Like just moving your body, the back and forth movements of your eyes, like just all of that is so good for you. Like I don't know all the medical things, but I know that they're there. And like
they are
the benefits. The benefits are there. Yeah. And if you just keep pushing and pushing, you're just gonna get like more tired and more stressed. And then the output of what you're creating isn't gonna be as good. And if you take a break, you could get the rest of your list done in like a half or a third the time. So just do it. Like, and especially during, short daylight time, like get out there early or you miss your chance.
That's right. Like it's a whole different thing to go out walking at like 7 p.m. in the winter. It can be done, but
yes.
Not for me. And then what do you do? I always laugh. I'm like, the biggest lie on the planet is, oh, I'll remember that when you get a great idea, right? And if you're outside, it's not like you're right by your computer, you can write it down. How do you, capture those ideas so that you can bring them home with you?
Yeah. I would say I'm not as organized at that as I would like, but so I have a variety of things that I'll do. Like I'll be walking and I have my phone with me all the time. I don't leave it behind when I walk. So I'll pull my phone out and I'll be like writing into notes. Sometimes, because I use Voxer with friends a lot. Sometimes I'll go in Voxer, they have this My Notes where you can send yourself an audio. So I will sometimes record a message to myself. There might even be like a full email idea for like a launch sequence I'm writing for someone. And I'm like, oh, I'll just speak it out loud real quick here. And then I go back and then I write it down later. So my phone definitely comes in clutch. And I also keep a notebook in my car for sometimes you just got to put, pencil to paper.
Yeah.
So.
Like sometimes I need a picture of something. I think with your design background too.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Sometimes get pictures as well, but that's so cool. I love that. Yeah, there's nothing worse than I'll remember it and you can't go like, all right, like a string, but not the whole thing, How did people do this back in the day? Like, did they have, I picture like, all right, Ernest Hemingway walking around. Did he have somebody following him taking notes when he got an idea? Like, how did they do it back then? They didn't have this AI stuff and the recording. And
much harder.
It's nuts. It is. Oh man. All right. I want to know where people can find you and what can they, is there a way that they can interact with you, like on a first get a taste?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me at sarahdesign.com. So that's Sarah with an H. And even though I'm no longer actively doing design work, I'm keeping sarahdesign.com because I've owned it for like more than 25 years. So it's my baby.
Nice.
And
plus
my
a two-word
still applies. Yeah, it's short.
Yeah, a 2-word domain. Right.
Like, that's not going anywhere. And I couldn't use my last name. That would never have worked. So no one could spell that. So sarahdesign.com. If you head down to the footer, there's a link to freebies, or you can just do sarahdesign.com/freebies. There's some cool stuff in there, like a free challenge to write your first sales page if that's something you wanted to try. And that will get you onto my email list. And then I hang out on Instagram, and my Instagram is Sarah Design Agency. So I love getting messages on there. So if someone was listening to this podcast, let me know that that's where you found me. I'd love to hear so I can report back to Sue. And I have I'd say one of my more popular offers right now is for a welcome sequence. So if you are a coach or a course creator and you've been kind of intermittently sending out newsletters, or you're like, nobody's ever really been onboarded onto my list, I can come in and help you write your welcome sequence. And like my last 3 welcome sequence clients cried when they read my copy because they're like, oh, it's so me. Like they just finally felt so seen and heard. So yeah, reach out about the welcome sequence, and it's in beta pricing right now. So
That's a great thing. I love that so much. All right, any parting advice that you could give to listeners? It could be anything.
yeah, I would say, well, apart from get outside, which you should all be doing, and looking for animals. I always am looking for wild animals when I'm outside. I would say one of the biggest things that has helped me in entrepreneurship is taking action. So less thinking about it and worrying and planning and trying to make it perfect before you do anything, and more like take messy action, see what happens, and then you can make it better after that.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Sarah. This is really cool. I know that a lot of people are going to resonate with this. And
Yeah.
but guys, go talk to Sarah.
Aw, thanks, Sue. It was great to be here.